One of the best ways that narcissists can gain leverage over you is to get you wanting something from them, to get you wanting something that they can offer and only they can offer, which oftentimes means they try to get you hooked on them in some way, shape, or form. In the early stages of your relationship with a narcissist, they would they would give something to you in abundance, something that would feel good to you, something that you would really enjoy, something that very soon you would not want to do without because they got you used to something good. In a way, narcissists try to spoil you at the beginning of a relationship, and they want to be the only person who can give you that thing that you have been spoiled to want. So, one thing that you'll probably notice in the early stages of a relationship with a narcissist is they will give you lots and lots of sex, lots of good, pleasing things. They will physically want to pleasure you to really get the chemistry running between the two of you and to get you hooked on them. So, they're very sexual at the beginning of a relationship. And it's over the top in a sense that you might find that few other people that you've come across in your life has been as sexually active or just wanting to get involved with you physically as much as the narcissist. So they will be very sexual at the beginning as a way to get you hooked on them, to get you physically hooked and addicted to them, because in the early stages that's what they do. They want you to kind of fall for them. And again, that's something that they want to do so they can later use that as leverage against you. Other things that a narcissist can do at the beginning stage of a relationship to get you really hooked on them and feeling dependent on them is they will be very, very focused on you at the beginning. So oftentimes when you start a relationship with a narcissist, it could be the case that for some time you haven't really felt validated or you haven't really felt close to anybody as such. Maybe you felt that life's been a bit boring, people don't really recognize you, maybe you haven't been feeling very important. What the narcissist will do is they will give you laser sharp focused attention day in, day out. Not necessarily 24/7, but you will feel it a lot. Like they will really pay attention to you. They will really make you feel validated and recognized. You know, you will feel that you have maybe a connection on another plane. That's how deep this feeling can be when they really focus on you with that laser sharp focus. And even though that's less physical than things from a sexual perspective, that's a very deep emotional bond that they're creating between the two of you. And part of the reason they're able to do that is just this very sharp, focused attention on you. Really gets you to feel bonded towards them. You start to see them as someone who you share something very special with. And all of a sudden, you don't want to let that go. And the third thing they'll do, and again, this is kind of tied to the second point that I just mentioned, the laser sharp focused attention, is they will just flatter you a lot, compliment you a lot. They will say a lot of good things to you to really, really kind of stroke your ego, to really put you on, a high pedestal. They'll really try to make you feel good, you know, buttering you up constantly, really make you feel that you can do no harm. They will make you feel that you can do no harm, and they will do that in such a way where you will think, finally, this person appreciates me. This person sees the good stuff that I have to offer, things that no one else has ever seen. Of course, the narcissist is just doing that as a manipulative approach to get you to fall for them. They don't really believe the things you're saying. Maybe they believe some of it during the idealization phase, but deep down they know that, everything they're saying to you and the way they're feeling about you at the beginning, or at least the way they're claiming to feel about you in the beginning, deep down they know that doesn't last because it never does. Although they, to some extent, the narcissist enjoys that because they do enjoy the idealization phase, but it doesn't last. But they want you to think that what they're feeling towards you and the bond that's being created between the two of you is very special and that it will last. They want you to think that because they want you to be hooked. As soon as a narcissist has you hooked, whether it be from the intense and fiery sex that they, you would have, and just the physical pleasure that they would provide to you, or this laser focused attention on you, or just this abundance of flattery and compliments. Through the combination of these things, once they see that you really started to enjoy those things and you've really fallen for them to the point where you want these things, and they can see that you now start to expect these things, almost like you need it, because your way of thinking, your way of just going about yourself, you've trained yourself to now want to receive the doses of the narcissist's goodness. And whatever goodness they have to offer, you've now become dependent on it. It's at that point where they've realized that you've created a strong dependency on them, that they start to withhold. So they'll see that you expect something. Maybe they used to have sex with them every day, possibly multiple times, or they would only compliment you. Whatever it may be, they'll start not to give that to you, or they'll give you a bit of the opposite. Maybe for a week they just won't show themselves to be physically interested in you. Or maybe they'll start to criticize you a little bit, something they haven't done before. And they'll withhold the good stuff. You will feel a very uneasy feeling in your gut and just in yourself when they start to withhold, because you'll notice something is very off. And you might feel kind of desperate to want to get that back. So all of a sudden you might try to do the impossible to work out what's wrong, and you might try to fix the situation, maybe change your ways to kind of get the good stuff back. When the narcissist sees that their withholding of the good stuff from you affects you in a very negative way, and now you're chasing your own tail to try to fix it, for them, that is great supply. That's one of the best supplies a narcissist can receive, is the initial stages of withholding the good stuff and just watching how you frantically scramble, trying to work out what's going on, creating a chemical and emotional balance within you, and you're trying to fix the situation. That's really good supply to the narcissist, and they love it. What's happened there is, without noticing, you've actually become their drug now. Because the supply of your misery is something that's sustaining them. So that's what narcissists do to gain leverage over you. They'll get you dependent on them in some way. They'll get you to expect the good stuff from them. And as soon as you start to expect it, you've enjoyed thoroughly the good stuff they have to offer. As soon as you start to expect it, and they know it, they'll start to withhold. And they'll just watch you disintegrate, because you're not really sure what's happened, what hit you, but physically it feels awful. That withholding feels awful when they've created the dependency on you. The first time you're with a narcissist, that can catch you out by surprise. But once you've been through it once, please learn from the lesson and don't let it happen again. If you notice somebody's giving you a little bit of too much of something at the beginning of a relationship, be careful, because manipulative and toxic people try to get you addicted to them by offering you the good stuff. Anybody who's offering you too much of the good stuff, too much, over the top, whatever it may be careful. That's a huge red flag. You don't owe it to anybody to become their drug by being miserable. And a lot of people will try to do that. But like I said, once you've been through the situation once or twice, you should know what to look out for. So just watch out for those red flags.